Convening this morning's agenda for the Committee on Culture, Arts, and International Affairs. Today is January 31st, 2024, Wednesday, 10 a.m. in room 309 at the Hawaii State Capitol. Joining me today is Vice Chair Martinez and Member Garrett. First up, we have House Bill 1555 relating to state holidays. This designate the second new moon after the winter solstice of every year as the Lunar New Year and establishes the Lunar New Year as a state holiday. First up, for testimony, we have Angela Melody Young in support on Zoom.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and the committee. Angela Melody Young testifying in strong support. Lunar New Year, called the Spring Festival or Chinese New Year, is a very celebrated holiday in China and communities around the world. The 2-week celebration includes family and friends, feasting and fireworks, parties, and parades. Although there is rarely a set program for Lunar New Year celebrations, there are days associated with rituals and festivals. And the days or weeks leading up to Lunar New Year are also when communities decorate with red paint on the doors of businesses and homes, red paper decorations, red lanterns. Red is the color of joy and prosperity in Chinese cultures. And it's the color of celebrations. One of the traditional ways to celebrate Lunar New Year is reunion dinner when families gather to celebrate. The colorful lanterns displayed outdoors are displayed as well inside temples, are associated with guiding lost souls home, and were originally created by monks to honor the Buddhist culture. In China, the traditions are very different. You give hongbao or red packets to celebrate the new year. And if you don't give money in a red envelope, it is considered very rude. Here in the States, we think it is very offensive to give money because it can be a bribe. So different cultures, different rules. And the US Department of Commerce in May 2023 reports that there are 5.2 million Chinese Americans in the States. The Chinese population was the largest Asian group, followed by Indian, then Filipino, Vietnamese, Korean, and Japanese. So CARES is in strong support of celebrating the Chinese culture in Hawaii. The Chinese people are hardworking, and often immigrant parents fly to Hawaii to work long hours to support kids to have a good life. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Lemomi Khan in opposition on Zoom. Ms. Khan, are you there?
Aloha, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm so sorry. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony actually on 2 bills that you are hearing today, which is HB 1555 and HB 1780. And so I provided testimony in opposition to both bills. But I should make clear that I support the intent of those bills, but not as a state holiday. And I am driven by the fact that last year, in fact, for the last 4 years, the Hawaiian community had approached the legislature to make La Ku'oko'a a state holiday. We were not successful with that. And instead, that day was just designated as a day for us to commemorate. Also these bills, if we created all of these holidays, would be very costly to the state. So again, I appreciate the bills and the intent of the bills, but again, not as a state holiday. The other thing is, I noticed besides these 2 proposed holidays, there is La Ku'oko'a, there may be others. So I think maybe it's time that the legislature maybe adopt a resolution calling for a committee to review the current state holidays to see what opportunities there are for changing them, and then to take a look at all of the requests for holidays and then maybe make some recommendation to the legislature. Thank you so much again for the opportunity to comment on these bills.
Thank you. That is all the people that have signed up to testify via Zoom or in person. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on the measure before us, which is HB 1555? Seeing none, Chair wants to make note that there are other individuals that have submitted written testimony in support. We have written testimony from the Hawaii Government Employees Association, UPW, and we have comments from the City and County of Honolulu, the Office of Collective Bargaining, and the Department of Budget and Finance. Members, any questions? Seeing none, we're going to move on to our next item on the agenda, House Bill 1780, relating to World Peace Day, which designates World Peace Day as a state holiday in place of Good Friday. We're going to start with in-person testimony. First, we have Vernell Oku. We'll go back to that then. On Zoom now, we have Mary Healy.
Hello, thank you for hearing my testimony today. I'm in opposition of this bill. Good Friday is a sacred holiday for many Christians throughout the whole United States and especially in Hawaii. I would like to say, as a Christian, I'm a little shocked that the state would try and change the name of this holiday, especially because we as a state know that the United States is founded on Judeo-Christian values. I, especially also listening to the previous testimony, if we're going to be bringing in holidays for Chinese culture, we cannot sacrifice our own culture in response. That is a way of eliminating what fundamentally makes America a great country. And I'm very thankful that you would listen to my testimony on this. And I would like to remind all of you that on March 29th this year, 2 days before, we celebrate Easter, which is Christ's crucifixion, it will always be Good Friday, whether or not you rename it or try to rename it. And I find it appalling that anyone would try to change this holiday in the United States. And I'm just very thankful that you could listen to my testimony today. And I hope that you all will make the right decision, because we can't be adding new holidays, celebrating other cultures while destroying our own. That is a Marxist approach, and I'm fervently against it. And I know other individuals also are, especially in our state. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening to my testimony.
Next, we have Miles Okumura in support on Zoom.
Okay, thanks. Good morning, committee, and everyone that's here. I'd like to speak in favor of the bill. I submitted written testimony. I'll just summarize it very briefly here and then make some other points. In 2007, the legislature declared September 21 as Peace Day in Hawaii, and I decided that I was going to take some action and not let it just become a piece of paper. So for the past 17 years, we have had the Peace Day Parade and Festival on the Big Island, and all kinds of associated events that come along with it. 5K runs, peace poster contests, music contests, guest speakers, Read for Peace in the library, 199,000 Cranes Project, Peace Gardens, etc. We have received a lot of support financially from the county of Hawaii because this day falls in what they call the shoulder period, a slow period of tourism. And to make this a state holiday, not only does it promote the values of aloha, which are universal values, of course, but it can also be a boon to tourism and a benefit to the community. I support this because I think Hawaii can be a leader in the nation and in the world by promoting these values, the values of peace, which are universal and correspond to the values of the aloha spirit, which represents Hawaii. And I think this is a great idea, and we can avoid the cost if we were to, so to speak, exchange for another paid holiday. This is a great opportunity for the state, as well as for educators and for the local culture. But thanks very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and the committee. Angela Melody Young testifying in strong support with a proposed amendment. Each year, the International Day of Peace is observed around the world on the 21st of September. The United Nations General Assembly has declared this is something to show unity, that the nations and the countries stand together. And this year's theme is Actions for Peace. It is a call to action to recognize our responsibility to foster peace. Fostering peace contributes to the realization of Sustainable Development Goals, and achieving the Sustainable Development Goals will create a culture of peace for all. The United Nations Secretary said, "Peace is needed today more than ever. War and conflict are unleashing devastation, poverty, and chaos. It's all around us, and countries are gripped by inequalities and political polarization." So while I do support the World Peace Day, I am proposing that the Good Friday holiday does not get stricken out, because Good Friday is an important holiday, and I don't think one is contingent of the other, that if you have World Peace Day that you can't have Good Friday. So Good Friday is an important holiday in the Christian religion as it commemorates the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and the resurrection of life. And this is an important event because it represents redemption of mankind and Christ. And our nation's constitution was founded upon this. And so I think it's very important that the Good Friday holiday does not get stricken out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Claire J. Tamamoto in support.
Hi, good morning. Honorable Adrian Tam, Honorable Rose Martinez, and the members of the Committee of Cultural Arts and International Affairs. My name is Claire Tamamoto, and I'm testifying in favor of House Bill 1780, establishing September 21st as World Peace Day as a state holiday. In 2007, the state legislature passed Senate Bill 866, and Governor Lingle signed the bill establishing Hawaii as the only state in the nation to recognize Peace Day in conjunction with the United Nations International Peace Day. In 2008 and 2009, Peace Day was recognized and celebrated on state capitol grounds by students, politicians, community groups such as the Spark Matsunaga Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution, MAD, and domestic violence. It was something that was a positive activity as opposed to a protest. The program included national guest speakers, religious groups representing our diverse cultures, and the recognition of an individual or individuals in the state that epitomized peace through their actions. Your own Representative Scott Matayoshi was recognized for his program to reduce bullying as a teacher at Nanakuli High and Intermediate School. The University of Hawaii offers a BA degree in Peace and Conflict Resolution under the School of Communication and Information. Currently, throughout our state, various groups commemorate Peace Day with parades, Ring Your Bell for Peace, and school programs. So you asked, isn't that enough? Why do we need a World Peace Day state holiday? Holidays should commemorate and recognize important concepts and occasions. I've worked with youth groups for over 40 years in education and through community organizations. I think and feel it is time to recognize September 21st as a state holiday. A World Peace Day state holiday would create greater awareness and elevate Hawaii's commitment to world peace. World peace manifests itself internationally and locally. In Hawaii, our aloha state, we see a rise in teen suicide through actual and cyberbullying, domestic violence, and hate crimes. We must do more. We owe that to our youth. The current bill proposes World Peace Day as an alternative to Good Friday as a state holiday. Currently, Hawaii is one of 10 states that recognize Good Friday as a state holiday. Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, New Jersey, North Carolina, North Dakota, and Tennessee. In addition, California, Texas, and Florida recognize it as an optional or partial public holiday. These states vary from entire partial days off, entire days off, or optional days off. For the states where Good Friday is a state public holiday, state offices and agencies and businesses are open and are not required to allow workers to take a day off or pay them for taking the day off. My support for this bill does not minimize the importance of Good Friday, but rather support the universal important concept of peace. In closing, I'd like to say this summer I traveled to Hiroshima in support of Hawaii's Ohana Arts Youth Theater Company, who carried their message of peace to the people of Hiroshima. The message was not lost on a city that has experienced the long-lasting devastation of an atomic bomb. It was moving and an inspiring experience to see and hear their messages of peace on your wings. This message must continue globally, so one day, just maybe, there might be more youth that have experienced peaceful resolutions to conflict rather than rhetoric that incites war or conflict to over our individual differences. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next up, we have Leimomi Khan in opposition.
Chair, I stand on my earlier testimony that I gave for HB 1555. The only thing I would point out is that unlike these two holidays, La Ku'oko'a is more than a celebration. It is a commemoration of a sad time in the history of Hawaii. So mahalo again for allowing me to testify.
Thank you. That is all the individuals that have signed up to testify, to give oral testimony. We do have a number of written testimony that has been submitted on the bill before us, both in opposition and in support, and comments from UPW, City and County of Honolulu, and the Office of Collective Bargaining for the state of Hawaii. Is there anyone else that wishes to testify on the measure before us? Seeing none, we're going to move on to our next item on the agenda, House Bill 1899, relating to state snails. It designates certain snail species as the official state snail. First up, we have Kamoku Aina o Hawaii. In support. We'll go back. Next, we have Coordinating Group on Alien Pest Species in support on Zoom.
I'm honored with the so I'm actually out in the field surveying for Little Fire. I thought it was really good to come here today to talk about other native species that herald and facing extinct, fighting to resist that extinction, mostly due to invasive species. Wow. So, I had the opportunity to go up to Mount Ka'ala in one of the natural reserves and kind of take a look and search these before.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, we have Manoa Elementary School on Zoom.
Okay. Good morning, Chair Tam.
Apologies, field office problems. Can you? Aloha, can you still hear me?
Yes.
We can. We thought that you completed your testimony on it already, so we moved on to the next person. What's happening?
Got it. Good morning, Chair Tam, Vice Chair Martinez, and members of the committees. We are fifth graders at Manoa Elementary School, and we are here to voice our support for HB 1899, which designates certain snail species as our official state snails.
As you may already know, our endangered kahuli are in trouble of going completely extinct in the near future. Over 90% of our species have already been lost. The kahuli play an important role in the life cycle of our state's official endemic tree, the precious ohia lehua.
They keep our island and forest healthy because they are decomposers and they put nutrients in the soil so the soil can be healthy and plants can flourish. And let's not forget, they came here first before humans, brought to the islands by birds and immigrants in the ocean. Besides being a foundation to our watershed, the kahuli are a treasured part of Hawaiian culture. For many years, Native Hawaiians have recognized the kahuli and celebrated them in Mo'olelo, Mele, and in Oni.
Right now, the kahuli face many threats that are killing them off, like the invasive giant African snail, the rosy wood snail, and the Jackson chameleon. We humans have also played a part in their decreasing numbers, but there are things being done to help.
With the hard work of organizations like the Snail Extinction Prevention Program, the kahuli are being saved and bred in captivity so they won't become truly extinct. These scientists have worked hard to put the snails in protected areas so no predators can get in.
But we don't have to be scientists to help. We want future kids to see and know about the kahuli too. By making this law, more people will learn about and hopefully want to protect the kahuli.
So let's all rise up to the challenge and help pass the law so these special snails don't go extinct. And remember that Hawaii was kahuli's home first. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much. That is all the oral testimony that we have right now. Chair wants to note that we do have a number of individuals that have submitted testimony that is written all in support. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on the measure before us? Okay. Can you please state your name or organization and whether you're in support or opposition?
Yeah, my name's David Sisko. I'm with the Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources, and I am in support. So the kid said it best, but Hawaii had an incredible diversity of land snails that existed nowhere else on Earth. Over 750 species. Unfortunately, about half of those are gone already, and we have about 100 species facing extinction within the next decade without urgent conservation intervention. They are important components of healthy island ecosystems and have close ties with Hawaiian culture and tradition. DLNR strongly supports this bill. We feel it will encourage the people of Hawaii to learn about, appreciate, and take pride in our public trust natural resources like snails that are quickly disappearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on Zoom or in person? Yes.
Hi, my name is Noreen Young, and I'm from the Bishop Museum. A couple of years ago, we actually brought a very similar resolution, and we were asked actually to provide snails for each of the different islands because we only picked Laminella sanguinea. Unfortunately, it was only from Oahu, and we didn't want it to be Oahu-centric. So we had the opportunity to have a larger campaign with also with the help with the state, and we were able to pick different snails from the different islands, and I think we were quite successful. We had several hundred votes. We had these coloring contests from schools from all over the islands. We had it from Hawaiian charter schools from the Big Island, and we also brought some of the snails that won the voting contest. So, Jan, that's Carla. Okay, so this one is for Oahu. It is Ka'ala subrutia. We rediscovered it in 2008, and the last time it was recorded was in 1960. It actually does very, very well in captive rearing, and the shell is translucent, and the beautiful colors of the gold and red comes from the body, and so these are the colors of our forests.
Wow.
Dave, can you help? The one that I'm going to show next is Lamanella venusta that won the voting contest for Molokai. This was also thought to be extinct for several decades until our collaborator Keaki Bustamante a couple of years ago from SEP Maui Nui rediscovered this one. And the very beautiful zigzag patterns is kind of reminiscent of some of the kappa patterns. And so Lamanella was actually thought the entire family of amaturids were thought to be extinct from Molokai. So this is the last known representative that we have there, and we're very excited because it also does very well in captivity. This one is wasn't the winner because we couldn't get Succinia conaensis for the Hawaii island, but this one we just came from Kohala, and so this is a Succinia chunky boar cousin of the winner of the Big Island, and so this one also does quite well in captivity. So we hope that we came back with a lot more thoughtful representations, getting community voices to vote for this, and I hope that we have provided the snails as representatives for all of the main Hawaiian Islands as well as the Northwest Hawaiian Islands. So thank you.
Thank you. That was really cool. Is there anyone else that wishes to testify?
Yes, Chair. May I testify, Angela Melody?
Go ahead.
Okay. This time testifying on behalf of Roar Rescue of Animal Rights.
In support or opposition?
Excuse me?
In support or opposition?
In support.
Okay, proceed.
On behalf of Rescue of Animal Rights, a small rescue providing medical care to various species and also trapping and neutering feral cats. So helping with a state management concern. Okay, so from DLNR, the Division of Forestry and Wildlife, an office with a purview on native ecosystems protections and management. Hawaii's extant native snails present a great diversity of fascinating morphologies and behaviors, from ground-dwelling snails that functions as Hawaii's primary native detritivore and conceal themselves as nubs of dirt to arboreal philosopher grazers decorated with colorful stripes. There is certainly much to marvel over. If you'd like to learn more, you can access the DLNR website. And also from National Geographic, why is it important to conserve and preserve snails? Because biodiversity is the variety of living species on our Earth. And when the Earth's biodiversities are at risk of being depleted, then we don't have a variety of species. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions? Seeing none, I want to thank the Manoa Elementary School 5th grade class for joining us today. And we're going to make sure that we vote this out really soon so that you can watch. Next up, we have House Bill 1950 relating to Kimchi Day, which designates November 22nd of each year as Kimchi Date in the state. We do not have anyone signed up to testify in person or on Zoom. So if there's anyone that wishes to speak on this measure before us, they may approach the podium or make themselves known on Zoom. Okay. Chair does want to note that we do have written testimony, one in support and one in opposition. With that, that is the end of our agenda. Seeing there's no one to ask questions to about that bill, we're going to recess for decision making. Recess. Reconvening this morning's 10 o'clock agenda for the Committee on Culture, Arts, and International Affairs for the purposes of voting out 4 bills. First up, we have House Bill 1555 relating to state holidays, designates the day of the second new moon after the winter solstice of each year as the Lunar New Year and establishes Lunar New Year as a state holiday. We're going to pass this out with amendments. We are going to change this bill, amend this bill so that Lunar New Year is an observed day for the second new moon after the winter solstice of each year. And the main reason why, if we want to establish a state holiday, we're going to need to go through collective bargaining on that. So we're going to amend this bill to change it into an observed day, and we are going to further amend this bill to defect the date. Members, any comments or questions? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on House Bill 1555, Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Rep. Garrett?
Aye.
Rep. Capella?
Aye.
Rep. Matayoshi?
Aye.
I guess Rep. Sayama and Alcos are excused. On House Bill 1555, Chair, your recommendation is carried.
Thank you. Next up, we have House Bill 1780. We are going to pass this out with amendments. We're going to keep Good Friday, and we're going to designate World Peace Day on September 21st of each year as an observed day. And it's for the same reason as I mentioned earlier, which is collective bargaining. So it will be an observed day, and we are going to further amend this bill to defect the effective date. Any questions or comments, members? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on House Bill 1780, Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Any of the members voting no or with reservation? Okay, seeing none, Rep. Sayama and Alcos are excused. Chair, your recommendation is carried.
Thank you. Next up, we have House Bill 1899 relating to state snails, which designate certain snail species as the official state snail. We are going to pass this unamended. Members, any comments or questions? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
So as is, Chair.
Yes.
Voting on House Bill 1899, Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. And any voting no from the members? Any reservation from the members? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation is carried.
Thank you. Next up, we have House Bill 1950 relating to Kimchi Day, which designates November 22nd of each year as Kimchi Date in the state. We're also going to pass this out unamended. Members, any questions or comments? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on House Bill 1950, Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Any members voting no or any recommendations? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation is carried.
Thank you so much. This hearing is adjourned.